Hi, my name is Valeria Sanchez. Today I'm going to be presenting my persuasive speech on immigration. I'm going to be talking to you about the benefits that immigration holds on the United States economy as well as society as a whole. Off the bat, 1 in 7 U.S. resident is a foreign-born, and 1/5 of the United States population are immigrants. So it's pretty shocking that there's so many people still being hateful and ignorant about this immigration matter rather than being informed. So I want to take this opportunity to actually give factual data to show that immigration is a positive rather than a negative. Being that I myself am an immigrant, I came here at the age of 3 from Mexico and lived here all my life. I feel like it's my duty to do this and show that immigration is actually a good thing for the United States. So what is immigration? Immigration is defined as the act of coming from a foreign place in order to seek permanent residency. Now, the first major wave of immigrants were Europeans in the early 1880s who came here in order to seek a better life for themselves. They wanted to go ahead and establish their own religion. They wanted to establish their own lifestyle, something that they couldn't do back when they were living under the British Parliament. So these same characteristics are the reasons why immigrants are still coming now. They're trying to find a better life for themselves and their families. So I feel like it's only right that natives should take a step back and look at their ancestors and be able to kind of be welcoming to new immigrants rather than trying to push them out. So my objective, again, is to shine a positive light on immigration and show that it's actually a good thing to have in the United States because it increases our labor production as well as government funding, and it has a positive impact on society. So starting off, labor production is a very big issue that a lot of people who oppose immigration tend to have. They voice out that if we tend to allow a lot of immigrants to come to the United States, then all of our jobs will be out. A lot of Americans won't have any more jobs anymore. While I can understand why many would think that, based on data, it actually shows that the immigrants who come here are actually not just being workers, but being employers. So they're providing a way for other people to be employed, providing a way for Americans to be employed. They're providing businesses to the economy, so they're giving back. Records from 2010 from the Fortune 500, which is a list that's computed from the major companies that have a big impact on American economy, show that 40% of those businesses are owned by immigrants or children of immigrants. Those companies alone have given 100 million jobs to Americans and people worldwide. Another good fact is that 7.5% of the immigrants that come into the United States tend to be self-employed. So that's around 600 to 800,000 immigrants who come here annually. They tend to become, business owners. So really, while yes, a lot of immigrants do come in and they tend to work jobs that are domestic, most of them come here with the vision of creating a business because it's much easier and more feasible of creating a business here rather than where they came from. My next slide shows that based off of data, a lot of the businesses in these major places are owned by immigrants. And a lot of these businesses that a lot of commoners go to on a day-to-day basis are owned by immigrants. So for example, in major metropolitan areas such as Miami, San Jose, Los Angeles, San Francisco, it shows that around 40 to 30% of those businesses are owned by immigrants. And the US average of immigrant-owned businesses is set at 16%. And most of these businesses are things such as grocery stores, things such as nail salons, childcare, household maintenance, automotive repairs, transportation, things that everyone use day to day. So without them, really, we will have a decrease in resources that we use. So immigrants are tending to facilitate more and more production, more and more business. So I don't feel like really they should be looked at as a negative. It should be looked at as a positive. Another thing that opposers to immigration tend to voice is that immigrants come here and they just sit on their butts and use up all of their Medicare welfare money, and we're just paying so much for them to sit. While yes, I understand that could why people tend to think that, most of the time immigrants pay their taxes. The reason why, and I say this because of my own concerns and living in a family that are immigrants, their number one fear is being audited. They don't want to have any reason for the government to look for them. So they will pay their taxes and then some, because they rather feel safe than feel like they're on edge and they could be red flag right away because they didn't pay their taxes. That's just the mentality of an immigrant. They're scared, so they will follow the orders if they will have to. Data shows that immigrants pay approximately $90 to $140 billion annually in taxes, and $11.62 billion just alone off of undocumented immigrants. And the reason why I say undocumented is because, believe it or not, undocumented immigrants cannot work high-paying jobs due to the fact that they don't have a social security number or anything. So really, even the people who really don't need to pay taxes, they still pay taxes because they're scared, because they feel like they have to, because they feel like it's the right thing to do. Another shocking thing is that undocumented immigrants pay 8% of their income to taxes. That's more than the top 1%. So people who make millions and millions of dollars annually pay less in taxes than the ones who don't make anything. Another shocking thing is that they made a study showing a immigrant, mostly Hispanic, who has an advanced degree, and a native who has the same advanced degree, and this shows over a lifetime that the one who is an immigrant tend to pay an annual tax fee more than the native. So that will be approximately around $500,000 more in taxes that they have to pay. So all in all, immigrants don't really tend to sit on their butts and just take in the Medicare welfare money that we pay. It ends up being most of the time natives who just go out and file for disability, or rather not work and just get a monthly check from the government. In my next slide, I computed a whole bunch of information that kind of correlates with my previous slide in concerning with government funding. A really shocking thing that I found was that undocumented immigrants by state pay a lot, and it goes to show in California, Texas, and Florida, which are the main states where immigrants are housed in, how much money they're getting in and pocketing. And in Florida alone, they make around $598 million annually in just tax revenue. So that's pretty shocking, since that's one major thing that opposers tend to voice out, when really that's not the case. That's not true. Another crazy thing that I found was the social impact that immigration has. Immigration brought in a lot of culture, a lot of diversity into the United States. Without immigration, the United States would not be what it is today. They created businesses that shaped and mold the mindset of an average American. Apple, for example. How would life be without an iPhone? Steve Jobs' dad sought refuge from the Soviet Union. So without Steve Jobs and without Apple, we wouldn't have an iPhone. I wouldn't be able to record myself. I wouldn't be able to do most of the things that everyone nowadays do. Like, It's just crazy how important immigration is. Another thing, Amazon. Jeff Bezos' dad was Cuban. Without him coming to America and being able to provide for his child and giving him the resources to be such a phenomenal and successful man, then we wouldn't have Amazon. We wouldn't have most of these things that we have. Other businesses such as Facebook, Google, Telsa, all of these things that a lot of people are starting to like kind of go into and use on a day-to-day basis would not be here if it wasn't for immigration. Another impact will be religion, ideologies, languages, and culture. All the mixing pots of different cultures here in the United States have molded even natives into going into these cultures. A lot of people who convert into becoming Muslim or Jewish or Catholic, a lot of people tend to learn about Buddhism, tend to learn different languages just to get better jobs. So these different things are facilitating a social impact on society. Another thing is the increased rate of intermarriage. Now natives and foreigners are starting to come together and cultivate their own type of, own type of living. They're able to not be prejudiced. They're able to be diverse in a sense of everyone's equal. So really, immigration has changed the way that we view things, because going back to other, if you were to travel into other places, you probably won't see the amount of diversity that you see here. I remember going to Mexico and I would just see Mexicans. It will be crazy to see an American there. Coming to America, you can walk the block and by far see at least 10 or 5 different types of people from different cultures. That's the beauty of America, how diverse it is and how much opportunity there is for everyone. Even everyone's equal. My next slide goes to show where these immigrants are coming from. Majority of them are from Mexico, since we are so close to the border, but we also have people from China. We have people from India, the Philippines, El Salvador. A lot of these major places are very big on, on diversity. A lot of the religions here that we are seeing, Buddhism, Hinduism, obviously Christianity is a very big portion, since a lot of people here tend to practice that religion. But even then, foreigners come here and they tend to lead onto Christianity as well, since they want to, kind of integrate themselves into society. They feel like it's only right to do so. So in conclusion, really, I feel like immigration is not a bad thing. It's a good thing. It should be actually enforced a little bit more. We should, instead of being so cruel and neglecting everyone from coming in, we should actually find a way to filter out those bad influences and bad people from coming in, and let the good ones who have good intentions and willing to make a difference in the United States. And that way, the United States could always be on top, always be the leaders of the world, because they have so many different types of people and ideologies coming in and out, and being able to facilitate more of innovations. So really, my thing is that we should make a change. People, especially natives, should use their role as being citizens to voice out towards these people who oppose immigration, people who oppose having children coming here for free education. Like, us natives need to do better in being human beings. We shouldn't just sit back and allow violence to happen when they're just trying to make a change for themselves. A lot of immigrants are afraid to voice out their opinions because they're scared that they're going to get deported. So it's only right that we talk for those that can't talk. And I feel like after this, people should not only help foreigners if they see one, but be willing to actually help them integrate into society rather than just let them be secluded. So really, that's all that I have for my presentation. I really hope that after this, someone can take action into what's going on to society, and not let ignorance and hatred be the voice of what is going on today.